the Retro Gamer, and we're at another review. This time, we're going to review Ruff Trigger for the PlayStation 2, which, if you're wondering what Ruff Trigger for the PlayStation 2 is, it's kind of like a Ratchet & Clank ripoff. Now, I don't have a physical copy, sadly, to pop up in front of you guys, because I bought it on the PS3. So, I'll be doing a review of that version. Same version, just, on the PSN store for PS3. But with that, let's get on to the review. Apologies, this might be a little bit quicker than most, though.
Alright, so my whole thing with Ruff Trigger is it's kind of one of those, games where it's literally just a ripoff. Like, if you look at the gameplay just right here, it screams a lot of Ratchet & Clank. Because, look at that, it's fucking ammo, And, that's not the reason why it's bad. If it was just a Ratchet & Clank ripoff, I would have at least given it like a 6, at least. Because, that doesn't make it a bad game just because it's a ripoff. Because some ripoffs can still be pretty good, like a lot of GTA ripoffs, that they have. It's not necessarily a bad game because of that, but its issues is it's a bad ripoff, and it doesn't do it very well, but it really tries. So it kind of tries to, add the whole weaponry of Ratchet & Clank and collecting the bolts and the upgrading, but the edginess of Jack, but both executed horribly. I don't know, the story's kind of lackluster, too. You have to, save these little, dog things or something, and, I don't remember the exact reason, I just remember that we had to save the dog things, or else something about, world something. But basically, throughout the levels, you'll have to pick up these dogs, and you'll have to take them to a central location to help them. And, sometimes that can be pretty tedious and annoying, because you can't hold more than one at once, usually. So you'd have to, pick up one, and then you'd have to go for the other one. It's pretty bad. But I will give it credit where credit is due. They have pretty okay weapons, honestly. They have alright weapons. I think the weapons lineup is pretty good. A lot of them are basically just Ratchet & Clank type weapons. You got a blaster, rocket launcher, shit like that, Everything you'd expect, a bomb. And really, it kind of does the job, It gets you the feeling of, yeah, this is basically just fucking Ratchet & Clank, but not as good. And, yeah, they're called piglets, and you're basically working for the guy in this game to get the piglets back. It's basically the same thing as Ratchet & Clank in a lot of ways. Now, the only difference is you don't have a robot on your back. You're basically by yourself, Also, just one thing I want to clarify. The main character is completely fucking stupid. Because, there's one cutscene where he drinks, a vial of something, right? And he's like, oh, it's just a random vial of ooze stuff. So I'm just gonna drink it. I wonder if that does something cool. And, it gave him powers in the end, but aside from that, it could have killed him in the game, which wouldn't have been good, But hey, it's a video game. I guess you kind of have to expect that kind of stuff from it. Also, another thing to note, your weapons don't upgrade in this game either. So, this came out, after, before you guys say, but this probably came out after Ratchet 1. This was probably before they had upgrading and stuff. No, this came out after Ratchet Deadlocked, actually. So this was 2005 or 2006, when the Ratchet & Clank formula was completely developed. So I don't really completely understand why they, kind of de-evolved, if they were trying to rip off, obviously, the Ratchet & Clank series. Now, I can also say the environments are pretty okay. They have a pretty okay varied amount of environments, and they look nice, Of course, they gotta look nice, because it's the late PS2 era. But I'll give it credit where credit is due, that the environments in the game look nice, and it's honestly not terribly bad. But, one other thing I gotta mention, though, is that they even have boxes like Ratchet & Clank. But the bolts in this are kind of like circuit things. You'd use that to buy weapons or ID cards, you know? But really, aside from saving piglets, you don't really do much else. Yeah, that's kind of like the main objective in every level, so you never really do anything different. Because in Ratchet and Clank, for instance, I know I'm comparing two different games technically, but I think it's a comparison that's needed since this came out, you know, after Deadlocked, which was, you know, after the trilogy of Ratchet and Clank. But I'm recording after the trilogy of Ratchet and Clank, and basically, shit, I lost track now. My bad, guys. Oh, yeah. Now I remember what I was going to say. Well, they would have different objectives on planets. I know you would do the same basic thing, but you would have different types of objectives you would do within the game. This game, all you do is you pick up fucking piglets, and you put them in the damn thing. There's not really any new formula to it, you know? And we can't forget about the green ooze, which is basically just nanotech. Literally. Like, except it's green ooze and it's not nanotech. That's the only thing that changes it. Honestly, that's about it. I can't really say anything else aside from this is basically just a Ratchet and Clank ripoff, and not a terribly great one. Let me give my score at the end of the review now, alright? Give me a second. Enjoyed this review. That's going to be about it for this. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. My rating for this game would probably be like, I don't know, 3. It's not like terrible, it's perfectly playable, but it's got a lot of issues, and it really desperately tried to be like Ratchet and Clank, you know, especially with like the edgy stuff. You know, I was really trying to be edgy too, and but it's not terrible, but it definitely has a lot of issues, so I give it a 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'm out.